So, I've been excited all day, like a little child, to get to speak to the fabulous and the wonderful. Please welcome to the stage, the brilliant, the BAFTA-winning Gail Porter.
Hey, hello. That's very nice of you to say so, Simon. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. I mean, BAFTA-winning Gail Porter. How does that?
That was really weird because obviously we've had lockdown and everything, and I did, for anyone that's doesn't know what a BAFTA is, it's an award for film and television and stuff. And we did a documentary about mental health called Being Gail Porter, and it was filmed over 6 months, just before lockdown. We ended about just before lockdown. It came out just before lockdown. Anyway, and it got nominated for a British Academy Film and Television Award. And of course, there was no award ceremony because we were in lockdown. So I got really excited. And they said, "Oh, you're up for a BAFTA." And I was thinking, "Oh, ball gown, fancy dinner, champagne." And it wasn't any of that. It was lockdown. So it was me and my mate went to a pub because it was when we were still allowed to go out and have food. We could have a drink with food. So we went out and we couldn't get, the ceremony was going to be online. So my friend was trying to get it online and we couldn't get any connection in this lovely sort of bar restaurant place in Soho in London. And I went, "Oh, do you know what? I need a wee. I'm going to go downstairs. This is a waste of time. We're not going to see it." And then I went downstairs and I came back up and my friend went, "Did you just go for a wee?" And I said, "Yes." She went, "You just weed yourself through a BAFTA. You just won." And I went, "Did I?" So I actually managed to miss it as well. So not only did I not get to go to a ceremony, I was actually downstairs doing a pee. So yeah, that was really rock and roll. So I've never seen the BAFTA. I don't know where it is. So I don't know if I get sent one or what happens, but I've never heard anything else apart from I've won it. So there we go.
Sort of special courier comes around or something. It's not quite. I mean, the thing is, a BAFTA is the highest, one of the highest things that you can achieve almost in television, and to receive that. So it's an incredible prize. But I suppose it's a bit of a an anticlimax. So you're thinking, well, where's my ball gown? Where's my round of applause?
Where's everything? So. Yeah, but no, I mean, it's a complete honour, absolutely. But I think the BAFTA went to the production company and I think they might have kept it. So, I might get a picture of it one day. Who knows? I'll see if I can borrow it or something.
Well, when you reflect on going through making that programme, and it was incredible, and of course would have helped millions of people that have been struggling with mental health, because you had to replay so much of the things that you went through. Was that quite an ordeal to think, God, I'm happy. I mean, did you even think, is this the right thing for you to do, to have to know, you had to replay some of it? Because you really went deep. It was very emotional and very revealing as well.
I must admit, when the idea came to me, because we've been thinking about doing a documentary about something to do with, ups and downs, because I've been through quite a lot of bits and pieces in my lifetime. And then they came up, that's the book. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just finishing my book, the second one. That one was kind of, the first book I did was written with a ghostwriter. This one I've just finished has been me. So it's a little bit like going back and doing the documentary. So it's taken me about 3 years because I keep chucking it out the window and then thinking, "Oh, no, I actually like that bit." And then I go and try and find it in the bin or set fire to it and throw it away. And I think, "Oh, no." It's been quite hard. But
it's doing the how you end up being self-critical of something. You write it and you think, you come back and look at it later and think, actually, it's better than you thought it was initially.
Yeah, or some bits you don't want to think about. You think, "Oh, I don't want to think about that bit." But to write it properly, you have to go, "Yeah, that was a bit of a rubbish time." But yeah, with the documentary, we went back to lots of stuff that I didn't really want to think about. So the poor director, I'd do something once and she said, "Actually, could you do that again?" After I've been crying. And I'd be just going, "No, I can't do it again." And I don't lose my temper, but me and her were just at loggerheads because I don't think she's never had any sort of mental health issues or anything like that. And I think she didn't sort of get telling someone to do, "Can you just cry again?" I was like, "I'm not acting. This is like real life. You're making me go through all these things again." So, there was a couple of times I just thought, "I'm not doing this. I can't do it." And I'm glad I stuck with it. I did stick with it, even though it was really hard. And there were certain bits I just really did not enjoy. Some bits, we did laugh and I saw lots of my friends and stuff. And other bits I didn't really want to think about. But we did it. We got through it. And I didn't kill the director and she didn't kill me. So we're all good. And we're all friends now. So that's great.
Yeah, because I mean, you really had to, unfortunately, dig up some of the past, some of the difficult times, and it was very emotional. Hence the reason why you were, in tears for some of it. But the interesting thing was, obviously, when you had some of the voiceovers were very on point, very specific. But when you're on camera, I thought it quite revealing at the very beginning. You did a speech at the Houses of Parliament, and of course you were in tears just after that. I mean, that's not an act. That's just how you are, I imagine.
Well, it's just really hard because I was doing a talk. It was an animal charity that I was talking about. And it was weird going into the Houses of Parliament because obviously I've been naked on the front of the Houses of Parliament and then you're going into the House of Parliament. And I was thinking, what do these people think about me? Not that I should really care. And then sometimes you feel, that imposter syndrome, thinking, what am I doing here? I know I'm doing something great for the charity, but I'm totally out of place. They don't really care what I'm doing. They're just there for sort of they're a jolly, they're an MP, they've got to turn up and do their thing. And I'm standing there, and then I'm sitting outside afterwards and thought, I'll have a glass of wine. I just wanted to cry and just get out of there, just thinking, oh God, get me out of here. But you do these jobs, and sometimes I just feel out of my depth, and I don't understand why people want me to do certain things, but I'll do it anyway. But then I just want to go home, and then when I get home, I get lonely, and I think, oh, maybe I want to go back again. I don't know. I get so confused. I don't know who or what I am.
Bless you. Well, the funny thing is, when I first discovered you, probably, I mean, I grew up watching you on.
I sound like a fossil.
When I first, I was running home from probably school or college or whatever, and watching you on Top of the Pops. I'm not too sure how old you would have been then.
I would have been 20, about 28, I think. I was quite old.
So I'll have been 10 years younger, I think I am in that case. I'm just about to approach my 40th birthday. And by the way, if someone could tell me for my 40th I get to speak to Gail Porter, I would have taken that all day long. I'd been really happy with that.
When's your 40th?
In a couple of weeks, in February, early February.
My 50th is in March, so you're going to be lockdown birthday. I'll be lockdown birthday.
Very lockdown. Yeah, it's a shame. Can't spend it with more family. But yeah, so that case, if 28, and that case, I was just 18 or so, watching you on Top of the Pops, and that's where I was just thinking, this girl, she's incredible. She's just so lively and excited on TV, and let's be honest, that was the best job. That was the best job for sure. I
know every job, most jobs I did, I still get excited about everything. I get excited going for a run. I do the same run practically every day, just get excited. Sorry, my cat's tail's wagging in and out there. But yeah, when I was doing Top of the Pops, I mean, could you imagine getting a phone call saying, don't suppose you'd be interested in presenting Top of the Pops? Yeah. So it was just fantastic. And all the crew were just amazing. It was like a proper family. You turned up at Top of the Pops and you knew the makeup girls, you knew every single person that was on the floor. Everyone was lovely. It was all cuddles and, days when we could all cuddle each other. The bands would come in. Then after the show would end, we'd all sit in this canteen, which was a canteen in Elstree, the TV studios. So they used to film EastEnders there. So you'd be sitting, and it was like a school canteen. It literally was. You'd go up and you'd get your, you'd pick your chips or your baked potato, or, you'd go with your tray and pick up your bits and pieces, just like school. And then you'd be sitting there, and you'd have like the Manic Street Preachers over here, Blur chatting to you there. You got Barbara Windsor, bless her, God bless her soul. You got the whole of the EastEnders cat. You got Pat Butcher over there, and everyone's sitting in a canteen going, all right, we've got a little glass of plastic glass with wine in it. We've just done Top of the Pops. They've just done EastEnders, or the plastic beer. And it was just incredibly weird, but it was just like a big family. We were all just doing a job, and we were at the canteen, and we'd queue up at the canteen with our tray and get our tea. It was so bizarre.
It's crazy. And then was there a bit of a culture? Did you all go out after? Did you get to know each other? Was there, what was it like sort of off screen?
It depended on what was happening the next day. So we'd record it on a Thursday night because it would go out on a Friday. So if I was doing the big breakfast, you tend not to go out because I'd have to get up about 2:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the big breakfast for 5 and then be live at 7. So you don't really want to be going out. We did occasionally and it didn't end well. We just have to keep going. It's like, but we were younger then. But if we weren't, depending, if we had a Scottish band in, say Texas would come in or something, or a couple of bands, we'd maybe go to a club in Soho or something. Because we used to finish about, depending on how good everybody was at doing their bit, if people weren't, fluffing their lines, or if people weren't mucking up their recordings, we could be up and out by 10 o'clock and we could be in town by about 10:30, 11. So we could get a good couple of hours of being out and about. But it didn't happen that often because lots of times the bands were doing, they were traveling. So they'd come and do Top of the Pops, then they'd jump in a van and they'd be off to Glasgow, or they'd be off to Birmingham, or they'd be getting the Eurostar or something. So it was dependent, if somebody was staying in London, they'd go, do you want to come back to the hotel? And we'd have a few drinks and then go back home. So yeah, it depended on who was in, but it was great fun. It was just, it's the most amazing job. I think the big breakfast and Wish You Were Here, you could not ask for better jobs.
God, they were, looking back to those times, how do you feel about it all now? Because I know watching you just looked like you were having a great time in front of the camera. You're with all these great people. You're sort of doing that dream job. I know kind of in your books and the things you said that, on camera I was one person, but behind this screen I was someone else, and you were sort of fighting with some depression. But certainly just from the outsider's view, looking at all the great stuff that you were doing, it looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, well the thing is, when I get high and hyper, then that's me. I'm high and hyper. And then suddenly it's the crash afterwards. I don't do sort of like, steadily wean my way down going, I've had a great day. Let's go home, have a cup of tea, think about it, chill out. I go, oh my God, I'm having a great time. Get home. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. I need to go out. Oh my God, I can't bear it. So it was like one extreme to another. There was no in between with me. And so that's what made it so great when I was on screen, because I was the most excited person in the world ever. And then when I got home, I was just lonely and depressed and couldn't figure out where that happiness had gone. And I just wanted to get back out again.
I can understand that. If you're an extrovert, you are an extrovert as I am, and if you're out with lots of people doing something really great and fantastic, and then you get home and you're alone, it's like, oh, where did my energy just go? Where are all these people? We were just having a great time.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've got the cat now, so that keeps you company. So the cat, I go, Pickles, look at me. Pickles, watch this. Pickles. The cat just walks away. I'm like, it's not kind of the same as having like an audience at Top of the Pops.
And a better audience might be your dog. Might be a dog from next door. You can invite them over.
Honestly, every time the dog
rent a crowd.
My friend's dog sees me almost every day, and every day the dog sees me, it's like the first time he's ever seen me. It's like the dog from Up. Everything's so exciting. And it's like, Gail. And I was like, I see you every day, every day. But that's nice. I like that.
Well, I mean, you get interviewed a lot, right? Lots of different people have lots of different questions. The thing that someone hasn't picked out and spoken to you about yet, it's somewhere in there. It says you're a black belt in karate.
Second dan. I've got 2 second dans.
Oh,
I've got second dan in karate, and I've got a second dan in kickboxing. But that was a long time ago. So I did my first dan when I was 16. Then I did my senior when I was 18. I'm now going to be 50. And literally, when I get back from my run, I have to sort of sit down for ages to get my knees to work again. So I could probably use my fists better than I can use my legs now. But yeah, wow. I did that when I was a kid. My mum and dad took us to martial arts when I was really young. So she's not looking. So yeah, today to me when we were very young, and then I just carried on and on and on until I ripped my hamstring really severely, and that put me out of action for months. And after that, I kind of just got into my spinning classes and going to the gym and small runs. So I wish I'd kept it up, but I was in so much pain for so many months. And then of course I sort of like hit that time in my life when I had no money, so I couldn't go to the gym anyway. And I'm not going to sort of do martial arts and look like the karate kid down in the park or just look like an idiot. So, I just sort of gave that up. But, I'd like to get back into it, I think. Maybe for my 50th birthday, I'll treat myself to a year's worth of lessons with a ninja.
Well, maybe that would be an incredible thing to see. I mean, it's hard to imagine you going out there and fighting some people. But have you sort of had to be in proper fights or anything like that to use it to defend yourself? I've
done fights when I was in the classes and stuff. I've only had to have one proper fight outside of a class, and that was when I must have been about 16 or 17 years old, and it was in Edinburgh actually, and we were coming out of one of those under 18s discos, and a group of kids decided that they wanted to nick my jacket, and we were all trying to run to get on the bus, and half my group got on the bus and I didn't quite make the bus because one of them grabbed me by the hair bizarrely, and so they got me by the hair, and it turned into a big old scrap. But not luckily for them, but luckily for me, I knew martial arts. So I got a bit of a beating, but they got a worse beating. But that was a bit scary. So I don't want to use it, but I do feel a little bit like at least I've got something, when I'm walking around in London in the dark, which I don't like doing, but if I ever am walking home in the dark, I just think, okay, get the ninja head on, we're all right.
You'd have to warn them and say, you understand, I know karate.
Not if they touch me first. I think in this day and age, no, forget it. You touch me, it's game over.
God, I'm immediately afraid of you now.
I'm small but deadly, you see.
Wow. So where did all of your media interests come from? So if you think back to sort of childhood, you often refer it to the being on the telly box. And were you always interested or excited about television, or did you just want an exciting career? Like, where did that come through? Like when you were younger, thinking about what you wanted to do?
I think it was mostly films. Like when Mum took me to see Star Wars, I didn't want to leave the cinema. I was just in tears, and I just wanted to live in space. I was always just like, my mind, I don't know where my mind came from, but I was just thinking, I can't leave the cinema. I want to be Princess Leia. I love Luke Skywalker. And then I was just so interested in films. And then we were doing things like at school, we were doing plays, and I was happy to get involved in anything, whether it was making the decorations for the stage or being involved, anything. I just liked it because, I enjoyed school and it was all great and everything. But as soon as we got to doing plays or anything kind of, make-believe. I think I was always make-believe. Yeah. I just wanted anything make-believe, creative, anything like that, and I was happy. So, I kind of did that, and I was always wanting to work behind the scenes, really. I love doing the school plays. I love doing everything like that. And we did Grease, and I got to play Sandy, and my friend Rajan, he played Danny, and we're still really good friends. He actually sent me a DVD. He had a VHS copy of us doing Grease the musical when I was 17 and he was 17, our last ever school play. And he sent it to me the other day and I was playing it. I was like, oh my gosh, look at us, all so young and innocent. So then I went on to do radio production in Edinburgh. And then I went down to West Herts to do film and photography. And then I just kind of worked behind the scenes for ages. And I was quite happy making teas, coffees, picking up people's parcels, just doing, what a runner does. A runner does everything and doesn't get paid. So it was all fun and games. And I was babysitting for someone and they suggested I go for an audition because he was a director. And I went along for a kids' telly program and there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of really kids in neon and stuff. And I rock up in jeans and a T-shirt. I was like, oh no, I think I'm at the wrong place. And I went along and then they sort of narrowed it down and I was getting phone calls when I was working in a pub in Edinburgh. They're going, oh, you're down to the last 30, you're down to the last 20, you're down to the last 10. I was like, oh my God, right, okay. And then eventually it got down to the last 3 and I went back and then they went, you've got the job and it's a live children's telly and you're going to be the presenter. And I was like, I'm doing what? So that was it. It was kind of like right in at the deep end because it was live as well. I think it was the best way to learn because you can't redo it. And I love live telly. It's my favourite thing. I always treat everything as if it's live. So because it's quite nice not to redo things because, you can get your initial giggles or you get, whatever. I just enjoy it. It's just really good fun.
So that was one of these things that you seem just to be so naturally great at. And then, of course, that enthusiasm, the excitement, it just sort of seems to have just taken you throughout your career. It was so great to watch.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, it's so interesting. And then so from there, so you had the start off from the children's television, and then how quickly did Top of the Pops come along and then the rest of the things? Because was it a quick thing or did these things take a few years?
Yeah, they take a while. So, after I did the Totally Interactive Game Show, which was on ITV, children's ITV, it was auditions after that because I wasn't entirely sure how it all worked. I just assumed someone would go, oh, here's your next job. It doesn't work like that. So I was having to go for audition because obviously I was things like when I got Fully Booked, which was a magazine program on BBC Two on a Saturday morning. It was like Live and Kicking. So that was filmed in Scotland. So I had to go for many auditions for that because what they had to do, there was 3 presenters. So obviously the producers and directors have to figure out who actually works with each other. They can't just shove 3 people that go, oh, like her. You might hate each other and then you can tell on screen if people don't like each other. It's one of my favourite games with Honey, my daughter who's 18. We can watch things and I guess he doesn't like who on that programme. She went, oh, she doesn't like him. And I went, yeah, you can tell, can't you? You can just tell. So they need to get the dynamics correct so that you got to have fun, so that the viewers have fun. So yeah, we had to go through all these audition processes, and it was okay when it was just a one-off job. It was just one person presenting. Because then they just didn't like you. If you didn't get the job, they just didn't like you. Where at least if it was a group dynamic, you could just say in your own head, oh, it was probably just didn't work as a mixture. But when it's just one person, you think, oh, it was just me. Oh, so but yeah, so I just had to go through the audition processes like everybody else, and kind of just went from there. And then the more jobs I got, then the jobs started to come to me, which was the weird part, after having to fight and go for jobs and get let down and didn't get this job, didn't get that job. And then people are phoning up saying, would you be interested in presenting Top of the Pops? Yes. So I didn't even have to audition. It was just, will you do it?
That's the amazing thing is you've got to go through those years of setbacks and challenges.
Yeah.
It's such a hard industry to just start to make it in. And there's so few people actually break through to then have people phone you up saying, do you want to come be on Top of the Pops with us?
I actually auditioned for, you're probably too young for this. I don't know if I've even mentioned this before. It might be in the first book. I don't remember. But I auditioned for a part of this children's program and it was called Wizardora.
Oh
I don't
gosh,
remember.
I don't
So
know if I know that one.
yeah. So it was like this girl, and she was a wizard, a witchy thing, and she had all these puppets. And so she was talking to like a telephone that was talking. She'd go, "Oh, I'm Wizardora." So I went for this audition, and I had to talk to like a coat hanger and pretend it was a phone, and I had to talk to like a toothbrush and pretend it was another puppet because they didn't have the puppets there. And I was going, "Oh, really? Oh, oh my gosh!" And I didn't get the job, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then the girl that got the job, I don't know what happened to her, but it was on about 3:00 on a Wednesday in the afternoon, and it was a girl talking to puppets, and they didn't like me, so I didn't get it. So do you know what? Who knows if I'd got that job? Who knows where I'd be now? I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it maybe sounds better you didn't get it. I mean, it sounds like it's...
Well, at the time, I was absolutely gutted, thinking, "Oh my God, I can't get the job." And then afterwards, I look back and I think, "Thank God I didn't get the job." Thank goodness for that.
I'm sure there's some jobs that are just a poison chalice and you shouldn't go in that direction. But I guess you don't know that at the time.
Well, I didn't actually want the job, but I was skinned, and I was just thinking, any audition that was coming up, because I didn't. When you get into sort of television, that hadn't been planned. So I was thinking, how am I going to make money? I've got a job here, then you don't have a job. And then I was working in a bar, and then that doesn't make much money. And then I was having to do auditions all over the place. So I had to save my money to get on trains. And I was thinking, what am I doing? This is no life. But it was quite fun because, I was single and young and just sort of like, well, it's fine. I'll kip on someone's sofa. Little did I know I'd be doing that in my 40s, kipping on people's sofa once I became bankrupt.
Well, I suppose that's the dichotomy, really, of everything that you've been through. When you look back, it sounds like, that the on-screen part was a really positive, exciting thing that you always included in and really excited about. Then behind the screen, obviously you were fighting some depression, mental health challenges, all those types of things, which kind of is very well documented in the documentary, which people, I encourage people to go and see. It's amazing that there's these two different sides to everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's got it. I think it's highlighted if you're in the public eye. I mean, people can keep it quiet. A lot of people I know go to work in great jobs or whatever jobs they're doing and do their job fantastically, get home, are in the same predicament as me, not holding it together. But I think the reason I wanted to do the documentary as well, because I thought that I was pretty much a minority, thinking, "Oh God, there's something wrong with me. I'm not right in the head." And then when the documentary came out, I've still got emails. I can't get through everything. I don't even know where half the messages go because, when you're on social media, I didn't realize, my daughter said to me, I was on my Instagram the other day and she went, "Mum, do you know there's another part of Instagram? You've got direct messages." And I went, "Oh, is there?" And then
direct and indirect, yeah.
She was like, "Mum, there's quite a lot." I said, "Oh my God." I was like, "These people must think I'm ignoring them." She said, "No, I'm sure they probably realize." It's like, there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages from people going, "I know how you feel." And I haven't got enough hours in the day to get back to everybody. But it was quite an eye opener, thinking all these people are going through their normal days, keeping it to themselves. And it takes someone or just someone to talk about it publicly and go, "Do you know what? Yeah, I genuinely thought I was in a minority." And after the documentary, I realized that a lot of us have got our outdoor faces, our faces to our friends and to the public and to, the guy up at the shops and, the neighbours. And then you get home and you have a different face. You have that, ouch.
Well, I think the great thing about what you've done is it's always about this awareness, isn't it? So if you get people to talk and get to people really talking about all these different issues and things that are going on, because people do have these different faces. So I think just with someone so in the public eye as you are, and now I suppose in some respects your career has sort of gone into helping other people through your programs who've suffered for some of the things that you have as well. So I think all those messages on Instagram are probably all people just saying thank you so much for talking about it, because it makes them feel a bit better that I hope so. It's kind of shared.
I've not read them all, so I apologise, but yeah, I'm trying to get through everything. But yeah, it was quite incredible because I'd gone to my friend who sort of commissioned the programme at BBC Scotland. She said, "Do you want to come to my house?" Because I was up in Glasgow at the time. She said, "Do you want to come to my house when the show goes out on the telly box?" And I said, "Yeah." She went, "Do you want to watch it?" And I said, "No." Yeah, no, because you said the voiceover was quite succinct, and so I obviously had to do the voiceover at a separate time. And the director was like, "You have to sort of know what you're talking about." And I said, "Just show me a clip." So I'd never watched the whole thing right through. I can't watch it. And so she showed me a clip, and I was like, "Right, okay," and I'll do the voiceover. So I didn't watch the whole thing, and so I went. No, I didn't watch it, and then so I went to Louise's house, who was the commissioner, who decided to give the whole thing a go ahead. And we got into the kitchen. She said, "Right, it's going to start in 2 minutes." I was like, "Right." She went, "Should we go into the front room and watch it?" And I went, "What's the options here?" And she went, "Front room and watch it, or sit in the kitchen and drink wine." I went, "Wine in the kitchen." So we just put the music on, and she put like our music on, and then we just had a glass of wine. And then we're right, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to see it. And then when it finished, my phone just was like ding, 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 ding. And Louise went, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh God, don't you look at it, because what if it's bad? And what if people just start being horrible? And she was looking at it, and she just welled up, and she's like, do you want to read this? I was like, oh. And she went, there's a lot of people out there that are going through the same as you, And I was like, oh my God. And that was it. I just spent me and her were going through it for about an hour, and I was in tears. And yeah, it was very nice that people got in touch, and it was nice that we did what we hoped we would be able to do.
Well, I think you touched on so many points that is definitely going to be poignant to so many people. And you're very open about sharing everything, and ultimately, if you talk about it, means other people might be more comfortable. Have you seen the full documentary yet? You seen the whole thing?
Yeah, I did actually watch it. Eventually, so my dad was in it. My dad passed away last year in March.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. I know you interviewed, you went and spoke to your dad, and then you had that conversation, and I'm really sorry to hear he passed away.
Yeah, that was kind of sudden. But my dad is so Scottish. So when we were doing the interview for the documentary, and then I go in, I'd said to him, do you want to meet in a coffee shop? My dad's going, no, we'll meet in the pub. I was like, okay, Dad. So we go to the pub, and I said, I'm sorry I let you down. Typical dad. He's like, no, you just let yourself down. I was like, all right, Dad.
So Scottish.
Yeah, it's so Scottish. Just yourself. You just let yourself down. So after Dad died, I watched it, and it was tricky actually, and it's weird. I never really watch anything that I've done. I don't like it. But it was weird watching it back. Yeah, it was weird. It's not one of the things I'm going to do again. Maybe before I pass away, I'll just have a quick look.
when you look, I know you've got to run, but like when you look back on that whole documentary and everything you've been through, how do you feel about it now? Knowing also that, it was so well received. You won a BAFTA as well, but you had to go through some real hard stuff to be able to produce it, go back for it. I mean, how do you feel about it all now?
I'm really pleased that they pushed me into doing it. And because I did not in a million years think it would be as helpful as it has been to other people. And I think, thanks to the production team for doing that, and the director, and, for having the vision and to push me as much, and to not like slap me occasionally when I was just walking off going, I'm not doing this. And I'm never diva. I never fall out with anybody, but I just couldn't cope with the pressure. And instead of just saying I'm really struggling, I was doing the whole chucking things around and walking off. And then I was walking off if we were filming in some place in Leicester or something, and I'd be wandering off, and I was like, I don't even know where I am. I don't know where I'm going. I had to go back with my tail between my legs going, okay, I'm fine now. We can carry on filming wherever we were. But I'm glad they made me do it, and I'm glad it helped other people. Sorry, my cat is just...
That's right. Pickles is great. I love a bit of Pickles.
She loves a bit of a camera action. But I'm glad they made me do it. I'm glad it did help other people. Never imagined we'd get a BAFTA, but I mean, that was a big team effort. So if I could share it to everybody out there with mental health problems, we can all have the BAFTA. I've not seen it, so you've not seen it, so we can just pretend we've all won it.
Wow. Well, Gail, listen, you've been helping lots of people through that program, and I'm so pleased that you've had such a great response. You've also made my day that I get to speak to you just a few weeks before my 40th as well. So,
shall I sing your happy birthday?
You can sing happy birthday if you like.
Yeah, when is it? February the
4th. February the 4th. Yeah.
So I can sing an early one.
You can do. Yeah, that'd be a great clip.
Can I send you? I've got one that my dad bought me this. You remember? Oh, you're too young. But there used to be like wobbly singles, like floppy disky things. My dad bought this for me when I was in Canada, and it's like one of those. And you put it on, it was all made of God knows what it was made of. And then it was an alien. But I'll sing it to you now. So it goes. My name is Zoom, and I live on the moon, and I've come down to Earth just to sing you this tune because Simon, it's your birthday today. Woo!
I'll play that back to myself constantly on my birthday. I'm sure everyone's gonna love that.
Copyrighted it. I hope you're going to do something fun. Obviously, you're going to be indoors probably.
Well, we're going to go Disneyland for the day. We're going to be traveling around, taking our 12-week-old son out and about. I mean, 12 weeks. Yeah, little Logan.
Is that your first one?
It's our first. Yeah. It's very exciting. So little Logan came just in October, and it's just been great to have him. Little smile, little chap, happy little chap he is. So,
I can't believe mine's 18.
I know. How's Honey, isn't it?
Yeah, Honey's great. She's brilliant. She's sort of between me and Dad over this bubble thing, so I'm not entirely sure how it works. I think we're doing it properly. So she's at Dad's today. She'll be at mine Thursday, and then back to Dad's on Monday. then back to mine. So far, I think we've been doing it okay. Lots of masks, gloves, everything. We don't really see many people yes, I dropped Honey off at Victoria Station the other day to go to her dad's. Nobody was there. And then I wore all my jogging stuff. So I thought, well, I'm going to jog home from Victoria to northwest London. I was out for hours, but I was going through Buckingham. I went to Buckingham Palace. Nobody there, just me. I literally was putting pictures on Instagram, like, here's me there. It was like, where's Wally? Round London. I never saw a soul. I think you go out at certain times. I was doing my thing. I had to drop her off. It was either that or get on public transport again. And I thought I'd rather run and walk rather than be on the underground, because the underground's still extremely busy. And a lot of people don't tend to wear masks still, weirdly. But that's that. That was a very boring story, but I'm just saying it's quite nice. And there's nobody in London. It's like 28 days later.
It must be nice to be able to go for a walk out in London and not be in massive amounts of crowds all the time.
I honestly, on Sunday, I think I bumped into one person I knew in Soho. She was just having a coffee outside. So that was quite nice to see a human being that you knew. That was lovely, because I'm just used to talking to people online and stuff. But it was really nice. And I just walked all the way home. Really lovely. Oh, yeah, boring. But it'll be really weird when there's going to be people around and stuff. Don't know how I'm going to cope with that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Gail. I know you're very busy, so thanks so much for fitting me in. It's been a real pleasure. It's been a dream come true for me to chat to you. So thanks so much, and thanks so much for everything you're doing around mental health, because it really is helping people. It's certainly helped me a fair bit, and it's just been a real great thing.
Thanks, Simon. Love to Logan. Love to your wife, and thanks very much. Have a great birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to now. I've got a song from you.
Yay! Sorry, I can't sing, but I gave it a bash.
It's all good. Thanks so much, Gail. You take care.
See you later. Thanks very much. Bye.